you asked me the question, how do you get somebody on board, basically?
With your goals, with your plan.
Your goals.
Yeah.
And I told you, me and my ex, when it came to finances, me and my ex, we was in the same place. I was in a bunch of debt. She was in a bunch of debt. So what reason should she have to listen to me? I haven't accomplished anything. I'm not where I say I want to be or where I want us to go. So for her, it's not real. So I can't be mad at her for not essentially trusting me.
Trusting you to lead.
But since I've been in my new relationship, I did pay off all my debt, and all I had was student loans. I mean, all I had was my mortgage. You know what I'm saying? So I've done it. So now what can she say? Your plan ain't gonna work.
Now she can walk into the relationship trusting you and listening to you.
Because she can't tell me my plan doesn't work. Because I've done it.
Yeah.
So you put yourself in a position where people have no choice but to follow you. And to me, that's what men are supposed to do. They take care of themselves as an individual first before they go out there and they seek a woman. Because you can go out there and find a woman and be with a woman when you ain't really got yourself in a good position if you want to.
It's going to be tough.
But it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. So why not work on yourself as an individual first, put yourself in a good position for the woman to trust you?
So because like I said, looking at marriage as an institution from what it was back in the day, and what I'm talking about is a woman, by the time she came to, it's a show on Netflix about it. It's called Bridgerton, and it's looking at the courtship of how women were, married off and stuff like that. A lot of times it was the age difference was the man was 18, 20, and the girl was 14, or she had to marry off into a man who was 50 years old, you know what I'm saying, because she could bear children and he already had his situation established. So talking about that, bringing that mindset back to today on how a lot of men say, my wife don't listen, blah, they skip, you know what I'm saying? And they trying to come out of that hole together.
But what have you done as a man to make her want to listen to you?
And why are people getting married when they haven't accomplished anything?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a tough conversation to deal with. And how do we get that mindset back to our children to say, okay, in order for you to be the head of a household, and not beating my chest saying the man got to be the head of the household, but in history, things run a lot smoother for the most part, where the man is providing and protecting, and the woman comes to make the home.
Right.
The man builds the home and protects the home. The woman makes the home as far as the living and how everything feels inside of the home. So that's a interesting concept to. I don't even know if churches need to pass this information on before people get married or whatever that institution is. There needs to be somebody saying, okay, people get divorced over finances.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
What is y'all plan stepping into this? Have y'all had that discussion? Because a lot of people just decide you a certain age, you need to be married. Especially women. There's a clock ticking.
Yeah.
On the women wrist, like, no, I need to be married. I need to be doing this by this age, and rightfully so, because they, I don't know where that drive comes from, but maybe that's just a biological clock that they have. But the man they choose to be with,
the man, listen,
you know what I'm saying?
Back in the day, a man, he took a young woman as his wife, and he was in a position to be able to take care of not only himself but her. And you had to ask the daddy for permission to even court his daughter.
Yep.
Let alone marry her.
You might have to have a name. You had to come from a strong family name too.
If you a man in today's time and you barely taking care of yourself, what makes you think that you need to court a woman, date a woman?
So here's the shot at the women. When you get with a man, right? And you putting that pressure on him to be married, what are you really doing?
What?
Because a lot of men are in that situation where they've been dating the girl for 4-5 years. Remember that 4-5 years rule I came up with? In that 4-5 years, you ready to be married because based off the time y'all been dealing with each other.
Just based off time alone.
Just based off time alone. Like we've been
That's
here.
just wrong.
You know what I'm saying? We've been here. We've been, I've been, what they say, you barring the cow, getting the milk, whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
Why is that the conversation when if you here with me, my situation, a man shouldn't even feel comfortable taking on a wife.
You see, that's my thing though. Why is the woman even trying to marry a man who is not prepared to be her husband?
What is that? Like I said, it's like a clock. It's like at a certain age, it's like
it's not gonna get no
press. Better. It's press. I don't know if they getting that from their friends. I don't know if they getting that from their mama.
It's societal.
I think that's what it is.
Because it's crazy because women, people in general, not just women, people expect to be married in a young to mid 20s because that's how it was always done in the really past, young. Right?
It was really
and way in the past was done in your teens. You know what I'm saying? But people want to be married. People want to start a family. Mm-hmm. So anything after about 25, people start feeling like they late. They late. And for women with their biological clock when it comes to babies and stuff, once they pass 30, bro, they start panicking. Start panicking. And listen, when you start panicking, what happens when you start panicking? You start falling victim to everything. Because now you're not thinking rationally. Yeah. A dude come along, he a half-butt dude, you still take him because then you start telling yourself, well, it ain't a whole lot of good ones out there anyway. I'm going to take what I can get.
Yeah.
You understand? You can't do that to yourself.
Yep.
You just cannot do that to yourself.
And so look at on the other side with men, like you said, what you had to go through, where you saw yourself and you was like, this is where I want to be.
Right.
And the person I'm with, I want to take them there. But if that person ain't on the same wavelength,
right, or
y'all not connecting,
it's a good chance that they won't be.
It's a good chance because they weren't taught. That's not their reality. Right. So how do you move forward with that mindset? Do you just
you leave?
Got to cut ties.
You cut ties. Women are very good at believing in their man. That's all good and well.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you got to have some common sense, baby. Listen, if this dude is not doing this, if he's not making these type of decisions, you got to be able to recognize that he is not going to be a positive person in your life.
Or maybe he is.
Okay.
Are you willing to sit there through that process?
How long is the process?
Are you willing to sit there through that process?
How old are you? How long is it going to take for this man to mature? How long is it going to take for this man to get to where he say he want to be?
And what can you contribute to that plan? How can you help him?
Because the thing is, can you help him if you need help yourself? That's the thing. Like people, that's why I say, listen, stay out of relationships until you get yourself together. It's just that simple. Stay out of relationships until you get yourself together. It's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is people are 30 years old still trying to figure out why they're not in a relationship. And they don't have time to wait. It's one thing when you're 21, 22 and working on yourself. That's fine. When you 30, 33, 37, you feel like you ain't got no time. Again, and then you start whatever you can get.
I think that's a fair question to ask.
Listen, man.
Like this plan you got on this paper, this is genius. And I don't feel like a lot of people, life don't hit them in that bold-faced reality where it's black and white. Like, okay, I want to be here. What's that process like? And then you here with me. What can we do to get there? Or are you even willing to commit in that same work?
Are you willing to jump on this bus with me and take this journey and ride this?
And that's what marriage is.
Yeah. But a lot of people get married too early. When I say married too early, I'm saying they're not even married, but they acting like they married. They trying to do things like they married.
No. They can be actually married and not have a real conversation like what I saw on that paper.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
even
the black
worse.
and white. Because you're going to have to go through that same black and white when you get divorced.
Yep.
That's what people don't realize. When you get divorced, even if you don't have that plan before going in, when you get divorced, that's what's going to be on that paper.
Yep.
Dividing everything up. Yep. Your bullshit, my bullshit.
Right.
And that's where it get messy because y'all haven't had that plan before you step into it.
Because y'all ain't talk it out before y'all even went through it.
Boy, listen here. We done said something.
Listen, man. I'm just going to say it again. I keep saying it. Do not get in a relationship until you got yourself together.
Like you said, most successful people, they make a plan,
Right.
they execute that plan, and they shoot them to a high level of success.
Right.
And usually, at a level of success, you got things are a little bit better. You say money don't rule the world, but a lot of people who got money
Make the world go around.
you know what I'm saying? They got different ways to move. They don't have to worry about certain things.
Yeah.
So it depends on what that conversation is, and I think that's what it boils down to, a conversation.
Yeah, but people not having a conversation.
That's
People will get together, but they won't sit down together. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll get together,
You'll
but
be
they won't
around
sit
me.
down and communicate with each other.
Let's talk about the real.
Let's talk about where I want to go, where you want to go, and where do we like intertwine.
And this is where some people get called at, and this is where I get called at being negative sometimes, is we're not just going to be here and just dwell in this. We know we're going to talk about some uncomfortable stuff. And that's a lot of times the negative stuff that we're trying to get out of our life.
Right.
The debt, the health, the
religion, the spiritual part of it.
There's all of it.
Right.
How can we eliminate all that stuff? Deal with it today to
and
get
I say
to
spiritual and religion. I'm saying those are things that you need to talk about in terms of that part.
Yeah.
I messed that up.
It's all unraveled in that. And then if we're gonna be married,
listen,
good God,
people, do you think has marriage been watered down compared to what it used to be?
Yeah.
It's sad, ain't it?
Very sad.
It's incredibly sad. Like marriage meant so much more before. It meant communication.
Marriage meant business.
Business. It meant
and business can be ugly.
Yeah. Well, that's one part of marriage is business. Is what you're saying.
The history of it is business.
I mean, because like when you say the word business, it make me think that you're taking love out of it. So this marriage is love. You should love the person you married to.
That's a concept that we apply to marriage today. Marriage back in the day was about business.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you talking about
yeah.
You are
Your
right.
family name,
arranged
my family
marriages
name.
and
We
stuff
arrange
like that.
marriages.
Right.
Your seed gonna marry my seed, and this is how we're gonna transpire with.
So let me ask you this then:
marriage used to be a peace treaty.
If it's something that we just simply apply, does love exist?
It can.
It can.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that love exists less than what we think?
We push love ahead of the business sometimes to make everything seem fine. It's like, oh, we love each other. We should get married.
Do they both have their own equal parts in a relationship?
Yep.
Should they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we should push business closer toward the top of that versus love. I love you. Okay, so what are you willing to commit to me? Because we know what the other side is. Divorce.
Mm-hmm.
When they chopping up divorce, it get real ugly in a business standpoint.
If business is such an integral part in a relationship, why do we get mad at women for being women when it comes to finding a suitor that will take care of them? Why is that? If business is so important and and marriage is a business decision, why do we get mad at women for choosing a mate that is capable of taking care of them?
Me, I'm a realist. I can't. If you broke my heart and you left me for a man that could provide your needs or your wants or whatever, I can't get mad at that. That's the game, baby. I can't hate the player. I gotta hate the game.
I feel you, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
All I can do is try to learn from that and try to get on his level so it don't happen to me again.
Now, I will say it, though. Now, if there ain't no love here, listen. It's one, okay, if we've been married and I fall out of love with you, we got kids, we got to go talk to a therapist. We got to try to figure out how to make this work. We got to figure out if we can bring love back before I just dip on you, before you just dip on me. You know, that's tough.
But here's the thing.
But I will not marry a woman strictly on business purposes, just for business. Like if there's no love for this woman, but she would be great for me business wise, I'm not marrying her.
Yeah. No,
I know that's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know that's not what you're saying.
That is an old standard. So they say a lot of people know this old saying. Your first marriage, you shouldn't marry for love. You should marry for business.
Yeah.
And then your second marriage, you should marry for love.
I ain't never heard that, but that's interesting.
I heard that.
That's interesting.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
Your first relationship or your first marriage is married for business. So you can get what you can out of it. You take care of yourself. And in the next situation you're going into, you got your business affairs in order. So you know, I'm looking at this person for a different reason.
Yeah.
But that get misconstrued, that get lost in the concept. So once we sit down with our generations to come and tell them about what it is and what the truth of it is, when you come into the table with another person and talk about marriage and to be together for as long as whatever that situation is for you, this is the real truth.
Yeah.
And once you unveil that truth, you make those decisions based off what I gave you.
Yeah.
And you move forward with that.
Hey, more to my story, my side of all of this is, do not get with somebody when you yourself got a whole lot that you're working on. I mean, because you just, listen, it's this thing I always say, listen, if you need to get yourself together, instead of trying to get with me, get yourself together over there. Don't come over here bothering me. Listen, I was fine before you came over here bothering me.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking like a woman, right?
Yeah.
Like, a woman is completely fine until you walk across the club trying to talk to her, knowing you ain't got yourself together, knowing you a half-butt dude.
That's the hunt, though.
You know what I'm saying? It's the hunt, but you ain't got no business hunting because you ain't ready yet. You ain't prepared. You ain't prepared to be a hunter. You might be good at it. You might be good at it, but you ain't got nothing to offer. You know what I'm saying? So, dude, you stay yourself on that side of the club.
You ain't hunting. You trapping.
Hey, stay on that side of the club, bro. Get yourself together before you come over here trying to get me.
Ooh, because
I'm telling you, you come over here and you ain't got yourself together, and you bringing all of that bad that you got in your life, and you gonna bring it into my life.
You trapping. Trapping.
That's messed up, man.
You trapping.
That's dirty.
Hey, that's a blow to the brothers in the game. Hey.
Get
it is what
together,
it is.
Man. Get yourself together. And what we have to do is, as men, we don't do this enough.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start taking pride in being alone. We need to take pride in being by ourselves. We need to take pride in meditating on just getting our own lives right as individuals. So that, and if we do that, when I say meditate, I mean like prayer. Like, you take time to talk to God for some months, maybe a year or two. Get yourself together, because I promise you, when you do that, when you concentrate on yourself, when you concentrate on building a relationship with God, an individual relationship with God, He will bless you.
Hey, what you selling when you come into this thing? Well, how can you sell yourself to a woman?
Well, you know listen, what I'm saying? If you ain't got nothing, you ain't got nothing to sell. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nothing to sell.
You can dress it up. Now, you can buy a nice suit. You can drive a nice car.
At the end of the day, man, when a woman look at you, she ought to be able to say, you know what? Good job. A decent job. He ain't got to have the best job.
They do the checklist.
Oh, yeah. Because I do the checklist. As a man, I do the checklist. I don't want no half-butt woman. You know what I'm saying? They want a decent job. They want somebody who believes in God. They want somebody who's respectful, but strong. Gonna stand up for them. You know what I'm saying? They want somebody who's a family man. You know what I'm saying? They want somebody who don't have a lot of debt to no debt at all.
Nah, I don't somebody who go that far.
You know what I'm saying? Listen. It's some basic things that we all want as human beings. Mm-hmm. The further you deviate from those things, the worse of a person, the worse of a candidate you look. And it's just common sense. Just common sense, man.
I don't know if it's common sense, Justin.
You might be right. But at the end of the day, man.
That's reality. That's what's out there, though, man.
You got to make yourself a good candidate for the woman that you want. You got to pray for that woman. Like, listen, I prayed for my girlfriend. I got on my, listen, I remember I was working at Riley Elementary School. One of the staff members, she's not the bookkeeper, she one of the secretaries, I think. She said, you know what, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray that God bring you the woman that you desire. And you know what, I started praying too. Because I never believed in praying for a woman. Mm-hmm. I never believed in praying for the woman that God, that I wanted, you know. But when she said that, I started praying. And then, you know what came with that prayer? It came with me doing what I needed to do on my own part too, making sure that all my ducks was in a row. Because, you know,
self-check.
It was self-check. It was faith. What they call it? Faith without works is dead. Mm-hmm. You can have faith. You can get on your knees all day long, but if you don't do your part as a human being, as a child that God created, you're not gonna get the things that you want from God. So yeah, I prayed, but I also put things into action. You know what I'm saying? I started living a certain type of way. Not only was I asking God for certain things, I started living a certain type of way so that I could get those things. And then he gave it to me. He gave it to me. And anybody who's married today, I pray and hope that the people that you're married to, that's the same thing that happened. Mm-hmm. You know, so you just got to believe and you got to put yourself in a position to allow God to bless you. It's hard to get blessings when you ain't in a position to get them. Cause God, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care what nobody say. You can disagree with me if you want to. God ain't gonna bless you unless you're prepared to handle His blessing. Cause the last thing God want to do is give a blessing to somebody who can't take care of it and be a good steward of it. I'm telling you, bro.
That's a bar, bro.
So if I believe that my girlfriend is my blessing, it's my job to take care of my blessing.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
It's my job to be a good steward of my blessing.
Boy,
you know what I'm saying?
Dropping something now.
Now, that don't mean I'm always going to be perfect now, dog.
Nah, but you dropping something.
I ain't going to always be perfect, but at the end of the day, I got to do what's right. And what's right is taking care of my blessing, being a good steward, and being the best man that I possibly can be.
Hey, that's going to stick with me for a while.
Hey.
That was heavy right there.
I'm glad you like it.
You got that way?